Hello everyone. Today I want to build a starter home. And it's been a while since I've built any starter homes, especially since it's been a while since I have built any starter homes out here in the chestnut ridge. So I've emptied this lot. This lot is 1800 simoleons, so we are going to have approximately 18,000 simoleons left for us to build. And we are going to make a starter home. So this lot is empty right now. And I have kind of like a simple idea of what I want to do. I just want to make a simple house. I don't want to make it anything like too much, just as usual. So my primary idea is that we are gonna have this sort of like an entryway area. Also, we are gonna have one of the bedrooms up here right in the front. Up here, I'm imagining that we're gonna have like a common area for kitchen, for dining, for it all. I think I might even do it like that so that we might even have some sort of a wraparound porch in the very front of our house. I like making doing wraparound porches because I feel like they're so cozy and nobody does them where I live just because I'm not living in much of the area for porches like that. And I'm not sure, I might try and make it a little wider in the front as for now, but I might make it a little bit skinnier later just to stick up here maybe double staircase, and that's it. I'm imagining that we're gonna use a lot of horse ranch up here because, like, we're making a starter ranch. Of course, it's not gonna be a ranch, it's just gonna be a house, and I'm not gonna use like all that much of horse ranch. I think that I'm just gonna use something that's gonna look cozy. Maybe I'm gonna try and use something like adventure or bait out here. So maybe like this door, it does look cute. Actually, I might try and use adventure baits a lot up here because I still did not use this pack much. So it might be something for us. Or maybe I also was thinking that I might use up here, as I have said, a lot of horse ranch because of these columns for starters, and also these columns because they look rustic but they look cute and they look exactly what I want them to look like. I'm not sure about the side of the house. We are gonna see a tiny little bit later. So the floor plan. The idea for the floor plan is kind of simple. I'm planning that we are gonna have kind of like maybe some sort of a pantry up here, or maybe one of the bathrooms up here. Up here, we are gonna have a kitchen in the back of the house, and I'm imagining that up here we are gonna have a small dining. Here we are gonna have like a living area. I'm not sure how I'm gonna fit it in here because first for now it looks a little tight, but I'm not sure yet, as I have said several times already. I think you might have guessed that I'm not sure. So, alright, then I was planning on us having a sort of hallway up here. So that up here we are gonna have a bathroom, up here we have a hallway, and also in the very back of the house we might want to have a smaller second bedroom. Maybe just it's gonna be like 4 by 4. And then we are gonna have like this area in the back of the house. From here we are gonna be able to access the exterior of the house. And also I was thinking that we might want to try and stick up here something like a second bathroom or laundry on the other side. So I think I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that because as for now I want to leave it a little on the wider side so that at least we can stick up here later something like a dresser so that we are gonna have a half bath up here, full bath here, pantry here, laundry here, a couple of bedrooms, living room, and a kitchen. And we are gonna have a back porch, and I'm gonna raise this house only 2 times because I don't want us to have too many steps. A couple is enough, and we are gonna have a lot of this light wood color from the horse ranch, and we are gonna have a step of the porch somewhere like near the area where we are gonna be able to enter that. But I'm thinking that I actually do want to extend the porch a little bit. We are gonna see how that's gonna work with the roofs. And now let us roof this thing. So as for the roofing is gonna be kind of simple. It always is. The roof looks tall right now, but I'm gonna try and make it a little on the lower side because I don't want to be too tall. Also, I want to stick a roof up here near the front of our house, and a second piece of roof like up here, a little overhanging up here to where our entryway is. Then I'm gonna extend this piece of roof like that. I'm gonna stick it up here, and I'm gonna copy this roof, but I'm gonna make it without this overhanging piece up here, or maybe I'm sure. I feel like the roof is a little bit too tall. Like I want to make it almost flat right now. But that looks weird because now this piece of roof is too tall. I think I can make it like that. That looks like a long and narrow roof, but at the same time, that doesn't look so bad. I didn't even think that I'm gonna struggle with the roof up in this house, but apparently I am. Maybe I'm gonna simplify a little bit our floor plan, and we can get rid of this second part of the house so that this way we are gonna be able to make our roof a little bit shorter. Or maybe I should just stick with the fact that we are gonna have this weird corner up in this roof, because I don't think that I can do anything about it unless I want to make it like significantly shorter. But this way I just don't like how it sticks together, because like, that's a weird corner. That's just a weird corner. Alright, that doesn't actually matter, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is, and I'm just gonna extend our back piece so that we are gonna be having a little bit more of fun roof up on this side, at least simple one. I don't like that these pieces right now on our facade, so I feel like I definitely do need to raise this roof up quite a bit so that it just doesn't look so weird. And I feel like I do need to extend this roof like up to the very, very back of the house. And maybe we still can afford to have a little laundry up here because it just doesn't ruin the house. And this way I can just make this piece of roof a little bit lower. I can stick a second piece so that this piece is just gonna get covered up in this piece. And now that looks kind of distant. Does it? Let me think that it does. It looks simple, but I don't mind that. Simple is not always a bad thing for us. So, okay, now we do need to figure out what kind of trim I'm going to get. I want to get this wooden texture trim because I just like the way it looks. And this way, as we are building just one floor high house, we do not need to worry about clipping on the second floor. And it's 5,000 simoleons already. We only have 13,000 left. I'm thinking that I might go either for these windows from Adventure Abates because they do look good in the setting that we are building our house in. Or I might go and I might use the windows from the Horse Ranch because Horse Ranch has these windows and I do like them too. By the way, I do need to activate move objects. That's going to be a little easier for me to build now. And what is good about horse ranch windows is that they are a little taller and they do stack nicely, and we have them in a variety of heights. But these windows are also nice because we have like these options because they look kind of practical for the area, I believe. And there are bigger windows up here and smaller windows, so we have windows to stick in the bathroom too. So I might actually go for these kind of windows. I'm gonna scoot it up here really close to the door so that it's gonna look a little bit weird maybe for you, but maybe that's low. That's a low placement of the window, I know that, but I'm thinking that it looks a little bit more cozy this way. And I'm gonna stick same windows in the very back of our house, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna go, yeah, a lot for adventure with these windows. We might stick a smaller window up here in the bathroom. That's gonna be like our laundry room, so we don't need any huge windows. And we can also stick some windows that do have something like shutters because we don't use it a lot. Maybe I might even stick a sink on the window like that. That's gonna look cute, I guess. Also, we don't need a back door. And as for the back door, that looks like a 10 door, so not for us. Like, we want something that's gonna look similar to our front door, but maybe a little bit neater. So that looks kind of appropriate. Of course, we can go for all of these double doors from Adventure Await, but I do not want to use the doors exclusively from one pack. And I'm thinking that I might want to go quite a bit for the base game here too. So I'm thinking, as for other doors, as for now, I actually might stick a back door from the base game because I like it a little more for this case. And by the way, I didn't even pick the roof texture. And as for the roof texture, I was hoping to use some metal because these metal roofs look kind of nice for a cabin or for a ranch. So I find them beautiful here. Sometimes I like using this metal roof, but I'm actually thinking that I might want to use this one, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm already trying to like fit everything inside the house and I didn't even color it on the outside. So let us go and add some texture to the house. So I'm planning this bump out area is gonna be all stone. So like all stone. Of course it's gonna look hideous up on this side, but I don't care. And as for the other side, I'm planning on it to be siding. We do have siding in multiple packs. So I'm even a little bit lost what kind of siding I should use. Maybe I should go for blue. I would like to go for something like a light green color, but I'm not sure there is that exact color that is going to satisfy me most. And by the way, sidings do go well when most of your house is done fine. Cute colors. Maybe I should go for this light green, light blue. Actually, maybe I even want to go for this red. I know that it speaks a lot of multiple countries' flags, but I don't care. Or we can go for this contrasting black and white because that looks kind of like sharp and I like that too. Of course, it doesn't give the same cozy vibes as something like a simple bright colored window, but at the same time, I'm fine with what we've got. And as for the windows, I'm not planning on having all that many windows up here on this wall, but we might have window up here, like maybe on top of our nightstand. Maybe I'm gonna stick a similar window up here. Of course, they're gonna be a little bit like crooked if you compare them to each other. And we might also want to have a big window in our bathroom because who wouldn't want that? I know that these windows are of different height, but I think that it happens quite a bit in real life as well. And now, as for back to the floor plan, I wanted to stick up here an archway for us to have access to our little hallway to access all of our rooms in the house. And I wanted to stick up here some base game doors on the inside. And I'm not gonna imagine anything all too difficult and all too much. I'm just gonna go for one of my most used base game doors. This one. That is just the most simple basic doors for me, so I use it everywhere. Up here, I'm trying to stick it somewhat symmetrical so that at least we are going to be able to stick up here around a rock. And that's mostly it for all of our floor plan ideas because as for now, I think I'm going to start furnishing the house. Or I don't know, maybe I should first go and kind of finish the outside. I'm not sure. This house, by the way, turns out to be not that small. Alright, I'm gonna go first, I think, for some flower beds, but of course, first I need to stick for us some foundation color. So we are gonna go a lot for wooden colors up here, just because I like them. And as for here, where our staircase goes down, I'm gonna remove the underside of the staircases because we do not want to pay for them. They are kind of expensive. I think I'm gonna even skip some fencing up here, but we do need spandrels. And for the spandrels, of course, horse ranch is gonna go perfect for this style because horse ranch style is exactly what we are going for here. I'm even not sure if we do need any columns up here around the house, but as for now, I believe that we do really not need any columns up here around the house. The way it is right now, I feel fine with that. As for the floorings outside, I think I'm gonna go yet again. You guessed that. Horse ranch. I like their worn wood colors because that looks cozy as for me. And wooden deck in this kind of climate kind of feels appropriate. Of course, I'm not going to be able to stick any sort of like decor up here, which I would probably like to stick up here because, this area lacks a little bit. And if it was real life, there probably wouldn't be anything like just this wall. There would just be something like maybe this, and up there maybe would be just some sort of like wood pieces. I'm not gonna imagine this thing here because not everybody got time for that. But in the same time, I do not want to do that just because that's really almost impossible in The Sims. So why struggle if that won't work? By the way, up here, I wanted to stick something like a dining area. So now I'm having troubles with having this laundry up here. That's unfortunate. Maybe we can change it up a little bit and we can get rid of laundry and we can make, I doubt that we can. Maybe this area is just gonna be nook in the bedroom. Or we can still have up here laundry, but we will need to make like a floating dining area up here. That's still gonna work, but that's not exactly perfect. But that's fine. We can live with that. No need to worry about it. And it's been quite a while since I've built anything of significance in The Sims 4. So I'm gonna probably struggle quite a little bit. I think I might also want to stick some amount of just simple trees around the house. Like we are not trying to imagine anything too much, just some grass. And also I was thinking that we might want to try and decorate it somehow, but at first I think we need to figure out the interior of the house. So I think we are gonna go quite a bit for horse ranch furniture because it's kind of cheap, and in the same time, it is pretty rustic looking. And I know that to be honest, want to make this house looking like rustic, like rustic. I just want it to look nice. I want it to look cute, but sometimes I just can't help myself. So maybe sometimes we don't need to make the house rustic. Maybe we can make it even a couple of like bar area up here, small one, just so that we have a sort of like an island in this kitchen. It's gonna be a tiny one, but at the same time, we also are gonna be able to stick up here a tiny dining, so that this area is gonna be a little bit more transitional looking. As for the dining, of course, there is this cute table from the horse ranch, but I'm not sure that we can fit it here. As for now, I think I'm not gonna stick any stools up here where we do have this like bar area in the house. I'm gonna stick a piece of lumber up here so that it just kind of divides the kitchen area. And I'm gonna stick this table, make it lighter wood, and I'm gonna stick several chairs around it. And yeah, apparently I'm going for a horse ranch based in house. I'm not gonna fill this dining completely with the chairs. I'm just gonna stick it like that so that your Sims are still gonna be able to walk around it. Up here we might just gonna stick some wall decor or maybe a trash can because we didn't even leave any space in the kitchen for it. So, and up here we don't need a stove. I'm gonna stick the cheapest one in the game yet. Later we're gonna see if we can afford more, but I doubt that, to be honest. And I want to stick some upper cabinets, but upper cabinets are a little bit of luxury in The Sims, especially if you're building with limited packs the way I do now. So I'm gonna stick some, but I'm not gonna cover it all completely. And I wonder if we do have any shelving options in the horse ranch that would go well for the pantry. So I think this storage thing can go really well for the pantry. Of course, that's not perfect. Actually, I'm imagining that I can even go quite simple for the pantry, and we might just try and go for simple cabinets up here. Like imagine that it's a lazy pantry. Of course, your Sims are gonna try and cook in here. They will, for sure. I don't usually do any sort of things like pantries in the Sims 4, and I'm now thinking that maybe that's a mistake. Not that I don't do them. The mistake is that I try and do it now. I think I'm gonna leave it kind of simple as for now. And as for our living room, get up a simple. We can't afford much already. I was imagining that we might have like an entryway up here from which you are gonna be able to kind of walk in behind the couch. I'm gonna leave this area empty in here. I think we do need some sort of like mudroom kind of area in here for this purpose because now it just doesn't work. Maybe I'm just gonna hang up here something from the pack. Something that doesn't occupy too much space, but at the same time something that occupies at least some gives at least some visual interest for us. Maybe up here we are gonna have something like this set in the place where I'm planning on having a TV, and then, or there are problems with similar style storage in the house. I want to stick a couple of bookshelves up here and a TV area, but I'm struggling with finding bookshelves that would fit. That would fit, but that's an expensive bookshelf, 600 simoleons. And TV doesn't even stand on the thing. That's a bad TV stand. And you know what? I'm trying to kind of build up here and I cannot see a thing because I didn't even stick a single light in the house. And we don't even have colored walls yet, so there are several reasons to struggle for us. I'm gonna make lights like that up here in the kitchen. And by the way, I completely forgot about the sink, and we still do need a sink. I'm gonna stick this simpler one. I like this one because it looks a little bit more rustic. And let me quickly just color the walls just for me to be sure that we are going to be able to afford it a little later. Simple colors it is. Some walls are going to be just made of stone so that they look somewhat nice. I do really like this bookshelf and I really do hope that I'm going to be able to live here. As for the TV, I'm going to go for the Basement Treasure because that's a cheaper TV. It's not cheap, but it's a cheaper TV. And I was hoping that we might want to afford a piano up here, but I'm not sure now that we can fit it here. And apparently the TV is gonna stand on the side table. Some rustic bucket of flowers. I think we are gonna stick some of these wood panels on the inside of the house. Up here I'm hoping to use some tile. We're gonna see. Or I was hoping at least for some stones. At least like that. Let it let it be it for now. Then, as for decor pieces, so we want to have a rock. I really like this rock from the horse ranch. And now we might want to have some decor in this house because as for now, it lacks kinda. So maybe something here like a painting. Also, we do have some wall decor in this pack. I remember that because I do like using this, but that's not the cheapest piece either. It's just 125 simoleons, but that is not cheap in the circumstances we are in. I'm gonna center it up here on the wall. Up here, I want to leave this area kind of empty-ish, but I want to stick a ventilation on top of our stove. And maybe I want to stick a second window up here near our stove. So that this corner is well windowed. At least we can look outside here. Also, we don't have a trash can yet. Might want to have that bucket, bucket up here. Might be a really nice addition to the house. Also, for the lights, as for now, I'm gonna stick these like low, not these ones, these ones around, and that's not gonna be a starter home. No, no way. We are not fitting a budget. That's not gonna be a starter. Maybe I'm gonna make it starter plus because we can go like a couple of thousand simoleons overboard and call it starter plus. I want to add some green color to the house or maybe some blue because we don't have it much in here. Up here we might want to have some sort of like a simple runner rug, but I want to make it, of course, a little rustic. But that looks like a rug is on top of a rug. Rug may go up here. Maybe we are to have some sort of like lights. Apparently not from the horse ranch because they don't look so cute. Of course, your Sims are going to be a little bit annoyed about this stereo because they won't be able to use that, but they will want to. That's for sure. As for kitchen, I might count it ready, but as for our main living area, I might want to add some slight decor pieces to that so that it doesn't look sad. Maybe I'm just gonna give us a better light up here, and now it's gonna look a little better. I'm gonna leave these partly empty as for now because I'm imagining that we are not gonna be able to afford much. Our kitchen is pretty much ready. Of course, the kitchen would work with some kitchen clutter, and I might add some because that's kind of simple. And I didn't even start on landscaping. Of course, for the landscaping, we are going to have to go quite a bit in debug. I think a couple of these barrels are going to go well into our pantry. And actually, as for our pantry, we might want to improvise a little bit and give it a little bit of wine sack because why not? Like, that's a normal pantry. Like, if that's a pantry, that doesn't mean that we need to keep out there only pans because something like that can go well too. I was also thinking a couple of aprons from base game because we have them in the base game if I remember correctly, and I hope that I do. These ones, like where we have storage, we have some stuff like that. I'm not gonna stick anything else up here except for the lights because we need light in the pantry, otherwise it's gonna be dark. One is gonna do. We do not need much. I think our kitchen, living, dining area is pretty much ready. Our hallway is ready too, and now we are only left only this bath, and a couple of bedrooms in this house. So I'm gonna start with the bathrooms. I'm not gonna do anything like too much in them because there is no space for that. So lucky for us, there is no toilet in the horse ranch, but lucky for us, at least there is a sink. So we are gonna be able to give at least some of a ranch vibe for our ranch up here. I'm gonna stick a tab up here because I want to have a tab in this house. And I like the idea of having a tab under the window. Of course, that might be really not practical, but I like the idea of that. So we might want to have it here. Of course, it's not really practical because we don't have any curtains, but let me try and find the area where I do care, and that there is no one. So I'm thinking that I might stick this kind of storage into our bathroom. As for our sink area, we might want to have a mirror on top of it. If I remember correctly, there is no mirror in the horse ranch, so I'm gonna try and resort to something simple like base game. This mirror looks cute. And everything else in our bathroom is mostly just decor pieces like towels and stuff, but I'm gonna try and finish up with some of the necessities first. I'm gonna stick up here also a toilet because we might want to have that. I'm not sticking toilet paper yet because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like that. I'm not sure if I want to have that in the bathroom. But if we are to go for the plants, we might as well go for the plants. And we are exactly at the budget. Is there an area where we might save some money? Like we might sell a bookshelf? We might try and sell some up cabinets in some areas. Like we do not necessarily need up cabinets in the kitchen. I know that it's lacking this way, but it's time when we need to save. And the bookshelf that I did have here, of course, I want to use something simpler. Maybe I will have to resort to this one. I hate this bookshelf. I really do hate that, but I see no other option. Also, I wanted to stick up here a standalone lamp. Maybe there is not going to be one, or maybe just one like that. And we literally don't have anything that is like expensive in this house. We literally don't have anything to sell up in this house. Of course, I can remove a couple of walls up here, and I can try and make it like this way, a little differently, but I'm not sure that that's saving as much, especially considering that we do need to buy something to do that. Also, we might want to try and get rid of our kitchen island because, as for now, that's not really necessary, or maybe ventilation on top of our stove. But this way, we don't need to get rid of this window, or we might want to stick up here a double window, but I don't want to have a window on top of our stove. I think we might want to get rid of our wine cellar, so the pantry is absolutely lacking for now. I think I'm gonna try and finish the bedrooms first, and then we are gonna come back. So for the bedrooms, for our kids' bedroom, I'm gonna stick the simplest bed that we do have. In horse ranch, I'm gonna stick it up here on the window almost in this yellow swatch just because I like it. Or I might stick this one because I like this one too. And we didn't even get started with any of our backyard activities. I think our back porch will need to be a little smaller and our backyard activities are going to be a little lacking. But back to the beds. So to the beds, what do we need? We need a double bed. I think this double bed is going to go really well up in this bedroom. I really like using this green swatch, so I might try and use it here. I think we might also want to go for these simple side tables, but I'm gonna go with matching to the bed kind of color for them. Also, there is a chance that we might go better if we are to do it like that, but or like that, because this way it looks like bed is occupying a little bit more of the space in the house. Then I was thinking about us getting a desk in here. We still can afford that. We also do have a horse ranch desk, this one. There is also a taller one, if I remember correctly. Yes, this one. And I think I'm gonna stick a taller one just because it has a little bit more visual interest. It's 350 simoleons and the cheaper one is 275. So I think the cheaper one is can go really well into the kids' bedroom because as for kids' bedroom, I'm imagining that it's either a school age child or a teenager, so might go well. I think I'm gonna try and figure anything that's not gonna look all too rustic for us in the bedroom. Then we are gonna be able to stick a rug that's gonna fit really well. Maybe this one in the color that do match the bed. I'm gonna do it like that. Then we do need a chair. As for the chair, Horse Ranch has a kind of a comfy looking chair. This one. I might give it a light blue swatch. And I'm thinking about getting a computer, but we have a tiny little bit of money only left, so I'm not gonna do that. Is something like that in the bathroom gonna give it enough character? I'm absolutely not sure. But what I'm thinking about is that we do need to give a child something to do. And for now, a child has nothing. I'm also thinking that we might want to get this kind of set for our child to have right next to one of the windows so that at least when we are doing our homework we are looking outside to this cute nature up here. And then we might get us a dollhouse. Like all of the necessities are covered. I'm sorry, kid. Really sorry. Then we can get a dresser like that somewhere here. Like, at least when we are dressing up, we can do it in a cute way. And we need a couple of standing lamps, or at least one for the kids. And as for else, I'm just gonna stick one ceiling light up here. And as for the adults, I'm thinking back to the horse ranch. We don't need some decor up on their table, maybe just some flowers. And up on this table, we don't need something interesting as well. Let us imagine that that's a trash basket. That's gonna be up here on the corner. Simple and useless. And you know what I might want to say about this hell house? We are out of money. I'm gonna go around and try and figure if I can remove something, if I can add to something cheaply, of course, because no other options are available for us. Of course, the kids' bedroom is pretty lacking. I'm thinking that I might even switch around some of the woods to the carpet. The kid might get green, and we might even give maybe this bedroom green, so that at least that's some variety. At least this child has a dollhouse, so the kid literally has nothing to complain about. Up here, I'm gonna give this light color. Up here, I'm imagining I might give this a little bit brighter color of this wood trim, but that's because that's how I like it a little better. As for our bathroom tiles, I'm imagining that these are not really cheap, so we might want to go for just simple tiles in the bathrooms, or is linoleum a little easy? No, linoleum just costs exactly the same as the tiles do. I'm just gonna give it simple tiles. We have 400 simoleons to do a back porch. I'm shrinking it and I'm continuing shrinking it because I have no money. Not at all. And to be honest, we have nowhere to save our money. These windows are not expensive, these doors are not expensive, the stairs are not expensive, the roof is for free. Like I can sell one light up here. And I can get us cheaper toilets, but I don't like the way the cheapest one looks. Because that looks extremely basic, and that's not in a good way. Our decor is almost non-existent, so I don't know where I can cut. Up here, apparently, we're gonna have just a simple lacking storage room. As for our lights, I think we are to have like one light up here where we enter and exit the house. Also, we are to have another light up here just to highlight absence of anything out there. And then that means that, yeah, I might remove this ceiling light up here, but then I will have to stick something like a light up here. But do I have money for that? That looks a little bit cozy vibe to our house. So it is a simple ranch house right now. It's nowhere to be simpler as for this house. Like I can even change the lights in the bathroom to something that's gonna be a little bit like absolutely cheaper, but that's gonna look terrible. And the tiles and the wood, I can go simpler. If I'm gonna change the wallpaper in the bathroom, by the way, it looks a little bit not so empty. Like with these lights, yes, I can remove them. I only had two, and I can replace them with one. That's like saving me maybe 50 simoleons, and that's it. Then, of course, yes, we do have a little bit over 1,000 of simoleons, but what am I to do with that? Stick a chest table up here in the back. That's at least 600 simoleons. Do I need to stick a rocking chair up here? Actually, I can. Maybe even one. I can make our back porch look like that. And then the front porch is gonna be absolutely lacking. But the front porch, maybe in my case, is just for the looks. And now, to be honest, the house on the inside is actually done. So now I just need to finish up some stuff on the outside, and it's gonna be done, like complete. So for the outside, I'm thinking that I'm gonna stick up here the simplest looking mailbox. I'm gonna stick it somewhere here so that it's like, or here. So that's a little bit out of the way, like not in the way for us to go to. And in the same time, it's not too far for us to be uncomfortable. Then we don't need to have a trash can. I'd not like to see my trash cans in my game, so I might just stick it up here under the tree. Now that's figured out. And we can even afford real landscaping. That's what I'm figuring right now. And what I'm thinking is some flowers on the outside, even from the base game, I think, because there are like some buckets of flowers that look quite outdoorsy for me, so that they won't look off just like that. And then, as for base game landscaping, we might want to try and go for some bushes like that, maybe, so that I can just wrap them like around our porch to make them look like our simple little fencing. But I might think that I might use the full size of this bush because shrink size is gonna require a little bit too much bushes, and I doubt if we can afford that. Just like that. So outline our house at least on one side. Then we can stick just some flowers in the corner, maybe some more dried grasses under the tree, maybe up here some green ones. And that's literally it for our budget, because I have 3 simoleons left. Maybe these bushes were a mistake. They are like 45 simoleons per bush. Maybe I can just stick something like these flower bushes and stick them only like in the front area of our house, like that. Make them yellow for them to look cute. And we have even some more money left to stick something extremely simple somewhere in the back. Of course, there is no money for hobbies, not for anything. Like we can stick a water bucket up here, but it's out of the budget already. Actually, we might wanna get rid of one of our rocking chairs, and then we are gonna be able to stick a water bucket because this way, you see, a hobby. We figured it out. And I'm thinking that we might want to try and get for us a bicycle too, because we are kind of living like in an empty area, but also we are living in an area where it doesn't rain all that much. But that's out of the budget as well. But maybe that's because I did pick an expensive bicycle. Kaufman bicycle does fit, so that's in the budget. And we still have 8 simoleons to go, but I'm not gonna spend it all because I feel like that is a pretty decent house as it is right now. And the only thing that is left for us is just some darker terrain paint. So I'm gonna do it like that because, like, we wanna give us a little bit of shadow underneath the house. And this way at least looks like a house is built on a dirt, which I'm gonna go for. And then I'm just gonna give up here some airbrushed kind of look of some dirt existing. I'm gonna use horseradish dirt up here. And we want to have a little bit of a pathway towards our trash can because, we are trying to imagine that people are walking this way. And maybe then add some under the water bucket and the bicycle because I'm imagining that people are grabbing and taking them to ride all the time too. So that's literally the house. It's simple, but I feel like it's nice, cute house, and maybe you might even think that it's kind of adorable. At least I hope that you will think that, and you will not tell me that this house is actually extremely ugly. Why did you build something like that? I really like the way it does look in the evening light because it kind of overlays the house itself really nicely. And now thinking that maybe we should use that different roof texture that I was thinking about earlier with a little bit more of a frequent metal, and I actually like it a little better. So this in the house, it's a starter home, at least for this lot. It's pretty simple on the roof, like we only have a couple of trees on the lot, like the lot wise, it's a starter home. But on the inside, we have a little bit more of an interest because up here we have a little bit of a storage area. Up here we have a wraparound porch where you can stick something for your hobbies. We have a piano up here, we have a TV. We have a living room, which I'm thinking is pretty nice, especially considering the budget that we had. Up here we have rustic TV, some rustic furniture, we do have some decor up here, fun lights, and then we do have a kitchen up here with an island and a pantry. Also we do have a bathroom up here in this area of the house. I think I'm gonna rotate the tables like that because this way it's gonna be usable. Then we also have this bathroom. It's like a half bath, so up here we only have a toilet and a sink, not even a mirror because I forgot about it. Then we do have this kids' bedroom. In here, we only have a desk to do our homework, a bed to sleep, dresser to dress up, and a playhouse to play it. Then we do have this full bath. In this full bath, we have a plant, some decor, we have a tub, we have a toilet and a sink as well, but this time we have a mirror. And also, we do have this last bedroom of ours, which is our primary bedroom. Here we do have a double bed, a couple of nightstands, some decor, some lamps, some windows. It's a simple primary bed, so that's a starter home, that's for sure. And that is actually it for the house. I like this house on the exterior a little bit more than I like that on the inside, but at the same time, that's a starter home, so that is a home where you're gonna go and you're gonna redecorate it all on the inside. So I think that you will manage to play with the house like that because I don't doubt you. I feel like maybe you're even much better in this game than I am because I play rarely now, so I'm getting worse. And now I think I'm gonna put this house in the gallery. So I call this house Starter Ranch, and it's 2 bed, 1.5 bath. It's Starter Plus house, and it is for a family that dreams of ranch life but still cannot afford that. So that is why they decided to move into ranch area, right? That's right. That is right. So the simple house is for them, and it uses only 4 packs, which is still too much for a starter home, but fine for my build because I tend to overdo that a little bit with some houses. So now we do have this little ranch house. But up here, as I have said, we do have anything you might want to have. And this house is now on the gallery. All the info about this house is in the description for the video. So I'm gonna thank you for watching. And if you like videos like that, I think you can subscribe to my channel. And this might as well be a goodbye. So bye guys.